Hi Lauren. Hi Tim. I've got a few notes from last week's show that I think I should share with you before we start today. I want you to try something different. I want you to keep the double entendres down to bare minimum. I want you to keep your potty mouths and
Lauren.
toilet humour out of the episode.
Sure, Lauren.
That's not me.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah, sure, boss.
In that case, we're going to have a great show.
Great.
Okay.
Right, that's us told. Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
And LJ, today and every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
Wow, you're loud in my ear.
Oh, do you need it down?
No,
a wee
it's
bit?
okay. It's fine. It's fine. Just
You
leave
sure?
it. Don't fiddle
Okay.
because it won't work. It's all new setup today.
I know we feel totes profesh.
I know. I'm holding a mic, and I've got earphones in my ear. I feel like I've inner ears, like the pop stars do. I can hear it all.
Like in Six, my
Yeah,
Sarah's tell us
exactly.
about inner
Literally,
ears.
yeah. I just feel like I should be bursting into song at any minute, like a Mariah or something.
Go, give us your Mariah impression.
Oh, I'm not great at Mariah. I'm much better at Whitney, to be fair.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, 100%. Or Tina.
Or Cher.
Or sure. Well, we all know. We all know.
And look, the camera is pointed more towards you today.
I mean, well, we'll see. I keep being told I'm moving around far too much, that I'm in camera at the beginning of the episode, and by the end of it, he's... Okay, executive... Stop it, that's far too close up. I'm glad I moisturised this morning. Executive producer just thought he was being funny and shoved the camera in my face. Now, is that in the right place? Because it took you about 15 minutes to set it up in the first place. Now you've moved it.
Cheeky bit.
Hilarious.
He's taking his role very seriously these days, isn't he, Lauren?
I can't believe he shouted at us and told us we were doing a rubbish job.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a wee bit more subdued compared to what he said. Why
To
don't
you.
you actually research and do your job? I was
he
like, I
kidding me?
have.
Don't even start, man. How are you today, Lauren?
I am good.
How's the head?
It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes, it's fine. I was on a cocktail tour for my cousin's stag, and it was a really enjoyable afternoon.
But you got hammered.
But I forgot to eat. It was not good choices. Like, I did not make good choices. I did because I drank them all. Like, that was a good choice. But anyway, it was fine. I was in bed by 9:00.
Yeah, exactly. You were in bed by 9:00. That's when you know you're middle-aged, isn't it? That you're at home and in bed for 9:00. I thought yesterday at lunchtime, me going out, and of all the options I could have got for lunch, I had to get a wee sip.
Oh,
A wee
that's
sip,
very
a wee sip and a crusty roll. Do you know what I mean? That's when I go, okay, middle age has definitely hit.
That's like a pensioner's lunch.
Isn't it? I know. It's true. So Lauren might be a wee bit under par today, but
No,
we just
I'm
have to
fine.
forgive her for what it is.
Yeah.
But at least you were home at
know.
9 and in your bed.
I know.
Did you eat something before you went to bed?
Yes. Yeah. I
Glad
made
to
sure of
hear
that.
it. Okay, good.
I'll probably not do that again for a while.
It's not ever a good idea not to eat before you go on a cocktail tour.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway,
You were just thinking cocktails. Can't blame you.
that's it. And they were delicious.
Absolutely. I'm sure they were. They were delicious when they repeated on you too.
Oh, dearie me. Well,
Anyway, on to another episode. We'll try and be better this time round.
oh no. I feel like we're being judged.
Oh, we totally are. He's sitting across the table from us.
So, what have you got for us today?
What have I got for you today? Theatre news, you
Yeah.
mean? Well, my mate's in Celebrity Big Brother.
I know.
Not a career move that I saw coming, to be quite honest with
Definitely
you.
not. And she literally finished. Guys know this is Marisha Wallace for
Yeah.
those that are not too sure who Timothy's mate is.
I've noticed we do this a couple of times, like we talk about something but don't actually make it clear to
I know.
the listeners what we're talking about. We
So-
need to sort that out. That was also on our performance review.
Okay, so Marisha Wallace literally
We
finished.
sighed at the same time. Anyway.
she left Guys and Dolls,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think she had a week, and then she
That's
went
right.
into the Big Brother house.
And she totally teased, when she left Guys and Dolls, she said, the next adventure is really exciting, like some, exciting news is coming up. But I was just like, what show is she going into next?
That's exactly what you thought.
I didn't think it would be TV. So hope it works out for her.
I know, and you know what? She's done good for herself. If you have followed her career about being a temp or an understudy in a swing, and then being leading lady and sort of having a career in England now.
Yeah, she is amazing, like, at what she does. It's also just nice to have musical theatre and primetime TV again, which is really nice. And to be classed as a celebrity for doing musical theatre. Yeah, here he comes.
What's a swing?
What's a swing?
For casual listeners.
Are you a casual listener? Now, surely we've taught you something.
You certainly have, but unfortunately I don't know what a swing is.
How not to do it. A swing is someone who would cover multiple roles and then they would kind of swing on if the person who was doing the role was off sick or indisposed.
Gotcha.
So the swing is probably the hardest job in the biz because they have to learn multiple roles, multiple tracks. So our Sarah talked about swinging
she
when
was a swing.
she didn't talk about swinging. She talked about being a swing.
So you're known as a swing and not. No, okay.
And
not a swinger.
It's different to an alternate, and it's different to an understudy. So an understudy would maybe have a different role in the cast already, and then they would just understudy a role if somebody was sick or
their specific role that they've been contracted to understudy.
Not being funny. I could have been a swing whenever I was doing that fourth year school play. It was Oliver.
Right.
Yep. And one of the guys that I had to work alongside with kept forgetting his lines, but fortunately I was there to say it really loudly into the microphone for him, and then he said it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some say it ruined the scene, but I think it added just a wee bit of depth to it.
Well, we all know your past history of being a swinger, so it's all good, Aaron.
Do we?
I love it when karma comes back to bite you on the backside, eh, Lord?
She did not bite me. I do not know how those marks got there.
Right, stop with the double entendres and the potty mouths. Right, moving on. So good luck to Marisha Wallace. I hope she does very well.
There's a real mix of people in there this year. Not that I'm following it intently.
Not really. I mean, I will dip in and out of it, I think. I don't think. But yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's our musical theatre news for today. Do you have any?
No. I probably will mention our local theatre, Grand Opera House Belfast, has a really good programme out at the minute of what's coming up and what's going to be on, and the the musical that we were talking about today
is also coming.
Yeah,
the UK tour of
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, Bonnie and Clyde today. Yeah. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this is a real interesting musical. One of those where fans have sort of brought it back now, I think, rather than like producers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it's a bit different from a lot of the other musicals that are out there for a relatively new show.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that was also its downfall at the beginning, because it isn't quite what people expected it to be.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever hit the heights that I think the producers and co expected it to be. I think it's kind of started to gather a bit of momentum, but I think mostly probably in the UK more so than America. Yeah. And you would surely, because of the subject matter, I would have thought it would have been the other way round. But sure, we all know the British love a good old crime thriller, don't they?
They do.
Shall we talk about
it? Yeah.
All right.
So Bonnie and Clyde is a musical by Frank Wildhorn, and he wrote Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, and Alice, a New Musical Adventure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Lyrics are by Don Black, who wrote Tell Me on a Sunday and again Dracula with Frank Wildhorn. Have you listened to the musical of music from Dracula?
Bits of it.
Yeah,
bits and
of
pieces.
But bits of it have made me interested.
Keep your mic in front of your mouth.
Oh, sorry.
Because you're going in and out of my ear. Just saying.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting used to all
I'm
this.
like he's shaking his head at you. I'm the professional here, Aaron. Like,
I mean,
and I will always love you. Give me a mic in my hand. I know how to deal with that.
You do?
I can also do the whole you know, when they like bring it in and out from your mouth. Do you know what I mean? Like they do that.
I think that video is going to be very interesting. Okay, so yes, Dracula music is really good. Don Black also did Aspects of Love with Andrew Lloyd Webber, book by Ivan Menchel. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
And he did some additional material for Chitty. Did you know that?
Ugh.
But he's more known for movies such as Blended with Adam Sandler. I love that movie. Ever watched it? Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore.
No.
Love it.
To clarify, Don Black was the lyricist and Frank Wildhorn was the composer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. The world premiere took place in the beautiful San Diego in 2009. It debuted in Broadway in 2011, December the 1st. And on the 16th of December, producers announced that it would be closing on the 30th of December. 36 performances later.
I know. Bizarre.
Yeah, very, very bizarre. It did open, there's been many productions of it, including like Korea, Poland, but West End did a sort of a revival of it and a bit of a rewrite in 2022, and it is currently on 2023, sorry, and it's currently on a 2024 UK Ireland tour, where it will be coming to the Grand Opera House Belfast on the 20th of May to Saturday the 1st of June, but it will be in Glasgow in April for any of our Scottish listeners.
Yeah, I think I'll go and see it, to be honest.
I think we should go and see it.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Is Aaron buying the tickets? Yeah. He is the executive producer. Yeah, so they pulled from the pages of history, basically, to create this musical, a heart-racing show that shares the true crime story of the infamous duo, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, the ill-fated lovers and outlaws whose story has been infamous since they achieved folk hero status during the Great Depression in America. Yeah. I think it is quite bizarre that a pair like that have like folk hero-y status. Like, it's quite bizarre, isn't it, how that happens in history? People who maybe do not so nice things like become...
That's it. It's not like they had a real redemption story or anything. They were ambushed.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it maybe comes from the fact that at that time in America, life was tough. And I think they both came from poor backgrounds. And I think a lot of people maybe excuse their actions for, well, what other choice did they have type thing. I think maybe that's where it partly comes from, but still, I mean, they did a lot of naughty things.
Yeah, and I also read that a lot of their robberies were to help support their families. So it wasn't that they were doing it just to make themselves famous rich. Mm-hmm. They were doing it to help, not quite in a Peter Pan, Robin Hood type way, but just some people say that they weren't really that greedy.
Yeah, it's almost like that's how it started off, and then it just got, almost like a drug. They got carried away by it.
Yeah.
In a way, I don't know. Wildhorn got in touch with Black about the possibility of writing this song cycle for the story based on Bonnie and Clyde. So they actually released a 13-track demo recording originally to start off with. 5 of those 13 tracks still appear in the show today. Now, considerably altered, but, there were still 5 original from that song cycle that are in the musical, which is kind of cool. I thought that was quite interesting. That idea of, we were talking last episode about how they released like what is that? They released a song before then the musical. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of helped, propel the show forward. So I thought, there's another show that's kind of a more modern show than the previous musicals we talked about. The music itself contains elements of, it's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? There's a bit of country and western in there, some
Yeah.
blues, and then some, I thought this was hilarious, Broadway pop, if you may.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. You couldn't quite say it's one style over another, but especially that maybe is the 1930s influence. You know, maybe people were listening to a different range of music, or blues music was maybe becoming a bit more popular. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I just think, I think if, whenever I listen to it, I feel like it's from the Great Depression.
Yes. Oh yeah. They've got it perfect, and I actually think, personal opinion, the music is what's so good about this musical. I think maybe if the music wasn't so good, it would struggle a bit.
Yes,
I think
I agree.
maybe as a show.
I agree.
But yeah, hey ho.
Okay.
In February 2009, the show held an industry-only reading at the Roundabout Theatre Company, and it was there that it starred Laura Osnes.
Osnes, yeah, it's like one S, but Wasnes, isn't it? O-N-S-E-S.
It's Osnes, but I can never work out how you actually say her surname. But she's done many a show.
And she won the reality TV show.
What?
Yes, so she won the reality TV show.
How to solve a problem like Maria?
No. Why did you jump to that?
Just because that's the last time we talked about a reality TV show.
She won the reality TV show You're the One That I Want, which was a Greece.
Honey, you see, you've given me a mic. I'm going to sing the whole way through it. Oh, in America then?
In America. So she won her, I can't remember what the other guy was. He got Danny, she got Sandy.
And do you know, is that the first time like American musical theatre fans or people came to know her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So her career started from there? That's very cool. Mm-hmm. She's very good.
She's very talented.
And she obviously then went on to be the Bonnie in Bonnie and Clyde. And certainly her and Jeremy Jordan, who was Clyde, they're also another part of the success of this show, then, I think.
Whenever you look at it, it wasn't successful.
No, I know, but I'm trying to pick out
how
like
it lasted, as in how people are discovering it now.
No, I'm just talking about probably my stand ovations a wee bit early.
Oh, okay.
That's a good thing about the show, is that partnership of them and the music. I think outside of that, it's a bit of a damp squid sometimes, depending on setting.
As we're talking about it, let's talk about that. So I think a lot of people felt that the reason producers pulled it early and didn't let it, because it was due to have a long run, but 36 performances. I think actually 28 were previews.
Oh, that's pathetic, isn't it?
I know. Was because when you think of a musical, you do think of singing and dancing and large cast and ensemble numbers, and there isn't that. There certainly wasn't that in the original production. So I know in one of the rewrites they maybe added a bit more dancing and ensemble-esque to it.
But at that stage, had more shows not kind of started to take that approach? Because I know within musical theatre now, that's quite a common thing to see. Almost, I think it's probably budgetary, isn't it? Yeah. Especially if the show's going to eventually go on tour.
Yeah, true.
Like, producers don't tend to have these big, massive chorus
but I think
ensembles
that
anymore. Yeah,
I don't know.
I just wonder if had that not already started to be a thing.
Maybe not by 2011. No.
I just think it's like as wild a life that they both had. It could be a little bit boring on stage. No?
Well, yeah, and it only covers a 3-year period. Like, this is it was very short. They only met, was it 1931? And then they were ambushed by police in 1934. So it was a very short period of time that they were actually Bonnie and Clyde, the infamous duo. So there wasn't a huge, and there's not a huge amount is known about their childhood, so it's not like you could have started there and moved on. So
yes, I think it's probably an American audience thing as well. Like, so when it came to the UK, they put it into probably one of the smallest theatres that there is in the West End, the Arts Theatre.
Yeah.
Isn't that where it started off? And it was because of the success of that show that then when it transferred to, was it the Garrick? A bigger theatre. I don't think that transfer would ever have happened, only for the fact that they sold the Arts Theatre so well that they went, oh, there's still legs in this. Let's transfer to a bigger theatre and do another run of it.
Yeah.
And now I would say this UK and Ireland tour will also be very successful. Like, I think it'll sell the tickets.
Yeah, and also they are doing quite a lot of social media around it. There's a lot of promotion.
Oh, maybe that's also a sign then that maybe it's not selling. That's why they are doing the socials. Who knows? But
Who knows?
it is a bit of a bizarre one, isn't it, though? For the fact that it had such a pants start.
Yes.
That it's still kind of going.
Yeah, and I think it will survive in the tour world, and I think it will survive in the Amdram. A bit like when we were discussing Calamity Jane, it's never going to be a Broadway West End musical, but it'll survive in Amdram and possibly a few tours.
Yeah,
you know, so there's certain musicals which don't necessarily suit a one stage for 20 years type thing, but they suit coming back every now and again for a little bit of a tour.
And it's funny you should say that, because the only time I've seen Bonnie and Clyde on stage has been in youth productions, and I've seen a couple of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm yet to see a professional production of it. I think the differences between the Broadway production and the West End production were huge as well. I think they very much took a very different approach to it. Nick Winston was in charge of the direction for the UK production, and I think that maybe also helped it.
I do, and I think it was the fact that they won the What's on Stage new musical in 2023. Then sometimes, like, I know it's not a Tony, but sometimes those What's on Stage awards bring a new buzz to a show where people go, oh, what is this now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And there then becomes a new interest in it.
Absolutely. Very good. Shall we move on to our musical lyrical lingos then?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Bite me, but I didn't actually really know anything about the life and times of Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. I didn't really know who they were. I think they've probably been name checked, you know, on maybe different TV shows that I've seen, but I, you know, totally went over my head. So their history, we could go into a very in-depth timeline about Bonnie and Clyde, but I'm not going to bore you. But I didn't know them and their story until, to be honest, until I first saw the first, you know,
your first performance.
Production that I went to see. So I didn't really know of them. Did you?
No, I think similarly. I had heard of them. I knew that they were infamous. I knew that they were a partnership. I don't think I always knew that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. Like, you know, I thought maybe they just happened to be
like you and me.
Yeah, like a wee.
We're an infamous duo.
Yeah, but
why are you laughing?
One of my connection to Bonnie and Clyde is the fact that
I'm worried about what you're about to say here.
So we would go to Vegas quite a bit, and we would drive. We would go from LA and drive to Vegas, and there's this little town called Prim just outside Vegas. And Prim's big attraction is that you can go and see the Bonnie and Clyde car, the actual car that Bonnie and Clyde died in.
Yes.
So we did that.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because this was one of my burning questions I was going to ask you, because I know you love your Las Vegas trips.
Yeah.
So you have seen the actual car.
We have seen the actual car. What else have you seen? We've seen the shirt that Bonnie died in. No, Clyde died in. Which was identified by his sister, I'm pretty sure. So, but it's
it was in some state.
Glass cage. Everything's in like a glass cage, and
it's not a cage. It's a window.
Oh, a window.
A glass window. Yes, my cage is made out of glass. You're just looking through a window.
Oh,
waving. See, Mike and hand can't help it.
But yeah, so I think I learned a little bit more about Bonnie and Clyde after going and seeing
That.
the bullet holes in the car.
I know it's a
and
bit
the
gruesome,
blood.
but what a cool thing to see,
Thank you.
right?
Yes, and
Like, I'd love to see that. Like, I've no interest in going to Vegas, but now that I know that that's there, it would maybe make me want to go.
No, you need to
I
go to
love a
Vegas.
wee crime thrillery thing, you see. So
See,
all of that, I'm
I
like going, oh,
don't.
this could be cool.
I hate anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, weird, and not safe and warm and fuzzy.
You know that this episode was your idea.
I know.
Okay, just checking.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying. So I don't, but actually looking at it was, it's part of history.
Okay, the geek in me. Tell me though, this car, is it just covered in bullet holes? Because it was anyone who doesn't know how Bonnie and Clyde's story ended, it basically a massive shootout. They littered the car that they were in, didn't they?
Yeah, it was an ambush by the police. Yes, so
I'm
Aaron
seeing a
is
picture of the
showing
car.
us the picture, so that Timothy can see. And yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
Wow,
So
sir.
there was no way they were going to survive that.
Of course they weren't. And was his shirt like covered in like dried up blood and all?
Yeah.
Oh, gruesome.
Yeah.
It's quite small, actually. But surprisingly small. I don't know why. I just thought he would have been, because it was a big name, a sort of associated big name with a big character and a big personality and a big like a big figure. So to
But
see
he was
it,
a wee dweeb of a man.
I mean,
He was.
He was lightly built. He seemed to be lightly built. Yeah.
He was, because that's why he got into trouble when he was in jail.
Yeah.
That's why he was raped, and
he came across as weak and
because of his stature. Is that right?
Yeah.
He wasn't a big person, and also how he was able to escape was because he was tiny.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool that you've seen the car though. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool connection to this.
Yeah.
So I'd listened to a few songs actually before, just like come on shuffle type thing, but then actually going to see it then made me want to listen to it more, so it did give me a bit of an interest.
Yeah, well, it was one of those musicals that I had listened to the soundtrack and then re-listened to it again and again and again, because as I've said, I do think the music is fantastic. So I had heard it a lot and knew a lot of the, like I could have sung back some of the songs because I had listened to it that much before I ever saw a production of it, which is why I think the music is its finest quality.
And I think the music also is so good that you find yourself humming it and not realizing that you're singing a musical song. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's just some lovely little lulls in some of the songs that I think watching it live by professionals would be quite emotive.
Yeah, it'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the ballads are insanely brilliant.
Yeah.
What else did you learn then?
Well, no, it was just a bit more about Bonnie and Clyde, just that they were known for the bank robberies, multi-murders. They did capture the attention of the American press and its readership from 1931 to 1934, which was the Public Enemy era. So then I looked into that Public Enemy, because what other musical mentions public enemies?
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Snake Eyes White. Public Enemy number 13.
Yeah. So Public Enemy era was first popularized in April 1930 by Frank J. Lozek, who was chairman of the Chicago Crime Commission. He was the one who came up with the term, and he publicly denounced Al Capone and other organized crime.
Yeah.
So then I looked at, who were the public enemies, and number one was John Dillinger. Yeah, and he was known as America's Robin Hood. And then we had George Babyface Nelson. Can you remember another musical where it has a baby face? Pass this to Babyface.
Yeah, Bugsy
Malone.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Machine Gun Kelly, and then Bonnie and Clyde.
So they are quite high up there on the Public Enemy.
6.
Yeah, okay, very good.
Yeah.
Can I just fact checked? I did say that Snake Eyes Johnson was Public Enemy number 13. He was actually Public Enemy number 1, I think.
I thought he was number 2.
number 2. Moonface Martin, was he Public Enemy number 13?
Yes.
Yeah.
Moonface Martin.
I just, because it's obviously one of my favourite musicals, I don't want any of my listeners out there thinking,
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly, because
Yes, EP.
Just a wee bit of information for you. I just looked up Clyde's height and weight. He was somewhere between 5'4" and 5'7" and weighed 125 pounds.
Yeah, so
I could take him, no bother.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So he was
easy.
tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in the show Picture Show, or the song Picture Show, she mentions, Bonnie mentions Clara Bow.
Living just like Clara.
Yeah, and Clara Bow actually my daughter will be really impressed with this, Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department.
What has
So for
happened
those,
to
I
you?
know, those that don't know, Taylor Swift is a very famous
Don't
pop
even
star.
waste your time. Like, I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't know who she is.
So she is releasing a new album called The Tortured Poets Department, and one of her songs on that album is called Clara Bow.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
She also mentions her in a couple of songs, but anyway.
She's a wee bit late, like Bonnie and Clyde did it a couple of years ago.
So Clara was a big star of the silent era. She is considered an icon for sexual freedom for women. Sometimes her look and her persona is the inspiration for Betty Boop.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And as well, she was also the inspiration for another character in another musical, Lena Lamont in Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't realise she was the inspiration for those other characters. Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So she would have earned about $30 a week then, which would be the equivalent to about $550 now. So this was somebody that then obviously Bonnie really looked up to, because she did want to be a famous actress.
Yeah, she had grown up watching her on the TV screens, and she was her idol as such, and she's name checked constantly by Bonnie. Like that the picture show is like one of the first numbers in the show, but then Clara is dropped in throughout the show then. Yeah, very good. That was kind of Bonnie's idol that was mentioned in Picture Show. I also didn't know who she was, but I didn't know who Clyde's then idol was. He sings "I'm Gonna Be Like Billy the Kid." Now, again, one of those like names or titles you've heard of, but I didn't really know if it was a fictional cowboy or what. But there was actually a Billy the Kid. He was an American old western gunfighter who participated in the New Mexico's Lincoln County War.
Yeah.
And he was known for killing 8 men and escaping jail.
Yeah, and he died, he was killed at age 21.
Oh, wow, was there? Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid, yeah. So he was killed young. He was a really good gunfighter, like a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Of the Wild West. Yeah. Interesting idols for the two of them. He obviously did have that little bit of a wilder streak in him compared to Bonnie.
Yeah. I think he as poor as they were, I don't think you can, although we can't talk about people from history, like we don't know what they were thinking, but I'm going, it's not a surprise his life turned out the way it did if he idolized someone like Billy the Kid. Do you know what I mean?
Funny enough, Billy the Kid's name, or one of the names he went by, was William H. Bonnie.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Very good. Stop showing off. Also in Picture Show, they sing "I'm gonna make a whole lot of money. I won't count cents like my ma and pa. I will wear Sunday clothes on a Tuesday."
Yeah.
And as we've said, Clyde Barrow was born into a poor farming family in Texas, so they were poor. So that kind of relates to that lyric. But Sunday clothes were usually thought to be one's finest clothes to wear for church on a Sunday. So that's kind of where that reference comes from. I thought that was quite kind of cool.
Cute.
Yeah, very cute. I'm wearing my Sunday best today. Not really. Anyway, did you learn anything else from Picture Show?
No, not from Picture Show. I'm trying to think what that song is. Is it New Habits? By Habits. No, it's not. I just can't read my own writing.
Uh-oh.
When I
Can't wait
drive,
to
he
see your
mentions
performance
about...
review for
I
this episode.
When I drive, and he mentions Cracker Jack.
Yes.
Which is an exceptionally fine or excellent thing.
I had that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sings, put me behind the wheel and stand well back like a Cracker Jack. I'll get your heart pumping.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. When I drive.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah.
Curtail, I'm pretty sure that's in one. Is it going back to jail? Going back to jail.
Yeah.
And the word curtail means to reduce in extent or quantity.
Very
didn't know what
good.
curtail was.
One of my favourite songs, it's a proper rocker, is Raise a Little Hell.
Oh my goodness.
It's epic, isn't it? It's absolutely epic.
Yeah.
And Clyde sings it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the end of Act 1?
I think it is the end of Act 1. So he is in jail for the second time. He's gone back to jail.
Mm-hmm.
This is, they said, according to history, is where he has had the terrible time.
Well, this is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This is my musical lyrical lingo. So he sings, no way out, I gotta do this. Him or me, okay, let's play. Never killed. So at that point he hadn't killed. And now I have time to make Ed corridor play.
Yeah, so
or
I think
Crowder play. Crowder. So Ed, or Big Ed, Crowder, was a rapist sentenced to life imprisonment who preyed on Clyde and subjected him to sexual assaults and beatings. And Clyde committed, well, the research that I did said that Clyde committed his first murder, killing Ed in a knife fight in prison.
Yes, that's right.
That is right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think the Raise a Little Hell is just before he does commit his first
Aye, and
murder.
then he kills them.
Yeah.
And that kind of then, like, leads, that's kind of where the slippery slope starts, isn't it? I suppose,
Yeah,
after
100%.
that,
Because
after that.
he was in and out of jail
for petty things,
like
wasn't it?
stealing chickens and
Quack.
a couple
It's
of
a
other things. But yeah, you know.
Honestly.
I worry about you too, but that just takes me to fair. I've got a 2-year-old niece that could have told you that.
Anyway,
Sorry.
a song that I think we should adopt as ours, The World Will Remember Us.
After this episode, I'm not so sure. It was a good duck impression.
It was an excellent duck.
Thank you.
It says, balls to bust me out with my old 45.
Uh-huh.
So this is where he's just escaped from jail with the help of Bonnie. Now, remember in another musical, I learned about 45s, but I think it's a different 45.
45's the record, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't think Bonnie helped Clyde get out of jail.
Bust out with records?
I think it was a revolver, sometimes called a 45.
Aye, a 45 revolver, that sounds more like it.
I'm pretty sure it's a gun.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, so I was like, oh.
But I did remember that a 45 was a record, just for the record.
Just
Boom, boom. And you wouldn't get this talent anywhere else. You need to know how lucky you are to have us both. Anyway. Shall we move on?
Yeah, then hollering from Dodge to Denver. So I was like, oh, what's Dodge?
Is this
still in the
same
world
one?
will remember us?
I'm so sorry.
Dodge to Denver. Dodge City is in Kansas, and then Denver is in Colorado. So that's from Kansas to Colorado is the distance.
I got the Kansas City
Oh gosh,
on Friday. By Saturday, I learned a thing or two.
Wake me up when it's
okay, it's too late to turn back now. It's too late to another wee rocker, isn't it? They sing my favorite line in the show.
Oh really?
With that bullet, you shot him and you shot me.
Oh,
Clyde, how stupid can you be? That was perfect. Just saying.
That was real emotional.
That's what I mean. Like, perfect on all levels. Tuning, emotional impact, dramatic effect. It was really good. In the show, Clyde has just shot the deputy during the grocery store robbery, and it is possible that this moment is based on a combination of the real-life murder of Howard Hall in his grocery store and the incident on Easter Saturday in 1934 when Clyde and Henry Methrin, who was Buck in the show, I think. I do
Oh,
believe
yes,
that
yeah.
was his actual name. Killed 2 highway patrolmen, and Bonnie approached the men to see if they could be saved. But a corrupt eyewitness reported that she was actually issuing a coup de grace. Do you know what a coup de grace is? I didn't know this.
Is it like a pill, like a bit of poison?
No, death blow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Coup de grace.
which became the turning point for her also
Oh.
in the story. Yeah, because she was going to try and help them to see if, like, because obviously I don't think she was overly impressed with Clive and what the actions he took, and she was going to check if there was a way of saving them, and an eyewitness said that she gave them the final dunk.
Oh.
Coup de grace.
Oh, you said it wrong. Coup de grace.
Oh God.
Like, it's not the end of the world, I'm just saying.
No, but
Not
it's
for you.
really ridiculous. Coup de grace. That's one for the highlights at the end of the year, isn't it? Timestamp that now. 40:07, episode number 48. My God, I'm worse than you are, Lauren.
I'm rubbing off on you.
She really is.
Oh.
A coup de grace.
Lovely. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. Move on quickly, Lauren.
Hilarious.
Please tell me of another musical lyrical lingo.
You can do better, that song.
I know it could. I really could.
You could do better. No, that song feels very 80s to me. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, God. You gotta have a reason for throwing a clanger out like that.
Is there a song called Desperado? Is that a real song?
Yeah.
Why don't you come to your senses?
I feel like that song sounds like that song. That's what I kept wanting to go and sing, but I didn't
And is
think
Desperado 80s?
No.
Oh, is it not?
And there's the coup de grace for this episode.
Are you sure? Is it not 80s? Is it 70s?
I'm pretty sure it's 70s.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
just check this.
Well, then it feels very in the past. And then You Love Who You Love. Oh, do you not think that would make a brilliant country song?
Yeah.
Really good country.
Yeah.
Like maybe a 90s country song. Just working my way through the ages here. Yeah, that's again all I wanted to
Contact
say.
Reba McEntire. She'd do a good job of that.
She would.
Yeah.
Was it 70s? It was
73.
70s. Well, I feel like you could do better. It's a wee bit similar to that Desperado song. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Anyway, in Bonnie, he says, I feel sorry for James Cagney because he hasn't kissed her.
Yeah.
So then I discovered who James Cagney
Me
was.
too.
And James was an actor. James was an actor. He was in Public Enemy, which is a film.
In 1931, yeah.
Taxi and Angels with Dirty Faces. But whenever you see, and if you look up a picture of James Cagney, you probably would recognise his face. You think he was just one of those actors who was maybe about.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really, it's a really clever lyric because that's Clyde. Is he writing a letter to her from jail? Or he's certainly singing about her anyway. Go figure. It's a song called Bonnie. But he sings, can't wait to tell her how much I've missed her, feeling sorry for James Cagney because he's never kissed her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since Bonnie dreamed of being that famous actress, I think it's quite clever because it is possible she could have played the romantic interest in one of James Cagney's films. However, due to her involvement with Clyde, this never happened. So Clyde, in a way, is kind of boasting that he's the one that gets to kiss Bonnie, not James Cagney. I thought lyrically clever. Well done. Don Black, isn't Don Black?
Don Black is the lyricist, I know, I think the music is great. I would give it a couple of listens to those that maybe haven't listened to it, because you will find yourself humming, especially that going back to jail.
Yeah.
Just that line, and then How About a Dance? I was fine. Like
How about a dance?
I'm always singing
Also, one that I'm always humming, and it comes at the end, and it's really cute, is Dying Ain't So Bad. And one of the lines in it says, then I'd rather breathe a life than dusty air. And Bonnie and Clyde lived in the Dust Bowl era, which was a period of severe dust storms. For anybody that doesn't know their history, I didn't. And she's essentially saying Clyde is her life, and without him her life would be empty, and it would reflect the empty, dried out environment that's around her.
So I think whenever they fell in love, they really did fall for each other.
Oh God, they
Because
fell hard.
she was married to somebody else.
No.
Yeah, so she was married, and I can't remember your man's name, but she was married to him, and he was in jail. She sort of just left him.
She liked your bad boys, didn't she?
But she was still wearing her wedding ring whenever she died. So everybody did think that they were married, but it wasn't. She was married to this other guy, and whenever he
Roy
heard...
Thornton.
Who, sorry?
Roy Thornton.
Roy Thornton. And whenever he heard that Bonnie was dead, I think he did cry in jail.
Very good. Sorry, I've just made a noise moving my mic.
Is it okay? What are your standing ovations?
I kind of, for some random reason, I did at the beginning of the episode, didn't I, when talking about the musical? Jeremy Jordan and Laura Osnes, I'm going to go for their partnership, and the music's fab. I particularly like Raise a Little Hell, When I Drive. I love the ballads. I think actually for musical theatre, this show has some of the best ballads, and there's quite a few of them, which would normally make you go, ugh, another one. But I think they're all really good. So I love That's What You Call a Dream. What Was Good Enough? What was good enough for you, Pa? That one.
Oh yeah.
I love Bonnie. Dying Ain't So Bad, and How About a Dance? Yeah, I love them all. I think the music's class. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, so my standing ovations are the original cast. I agree with you. Raise a Little Hell is my number one, and then I Love You Love Who You Love.
I love who I love.
I Love You Love Who You Love.
Yeah, that's really good. Well done. That's a tongue twister right there.
And special mention to Jordan Luke Gage.
Yes.
His Raise a Little Hell, I'm saying it and putting it out there, is better than Jeremy Jordan's.
Controversial.
No, it is. He is unbelievable.
Yeah, so did he go into the arts theatre, or did he then move into the Garrick?
I think it was the Garrick, but
I think so too, because I think when it first appeared in London, he was still in Anne Juliet as Romeo.
Okay.
I think. Yes, and then they did do a cast recording of the London cast, and it is excellent, and he is excellent.
And there are some little clips on YouTube of him performing Raise a Little Hell, and I just keep watching it on repeat. Yeah. So do check that out.
That's interesting, because I think, you say it's better than Jeremy Jordan. I think Jeremy Jordan, it'll be really interesting to watch his career, because he's still relatively young and what he's done in his career already.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be interesting to see as he gets older what he does.
True.
Because I would say he could be a front runner. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a name that we'll probably see an awful lot in the future. And I think probably Jordan Luke Gage as well, with regards to British theatre.
I think he's great. Yeah, that was Bonnie and Clyde.
It was Bonnie and Clyde. I really enjoyed that episode. I do like a musical that's based on a historical kind of person or event or people.
Yeah, EPs agree into that too. Do you feel like they're more relatable then if a musical is based on a real historic?
You said EP and I was thinking Elaine Page.
So was
I was like,
I forgot
you've got
there.
friends in high places. No, I kind of like I like history anyway. So whenever it would entice me to go and see it more if I thought that you could learn something from it as well. Whether it's sex or Bonnie and Clyde or anything. Hamilton, yeah, especially, it's fantastic. So yeah, it would entice me more.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I think that's what musical theatre needs to do to keep itself fresh, is always try and remember those people that maybe currently aren't at the theatre and what could
bring them to it.
Yeah.
Non-customers.
And
I think we did quite a few in like season 1, musicals that kind of were based on.
Yeah, true. That's
but
right.
we haven't done any this year. Oh well, I mean, Sound of Music was based on the real Maria von Trapp. Go figure, I didn't know that. But we haven't done too many of those this year so far, have we?
No.
Let's do another one.
Yeah, we've got plenty.
Yeah, and funny. EP there, Elaine Page herself. She's got a close wee link to our next episode. I'm not doing a clue, but it was too good of a
Does he?
EP, Elaine Page.
The actual,
The actual Elaine Page. I thought
He
because
might do too.
No,
you never
no.
know. Like
Next
swinging
week's gonna
back
make
round, who
sense,
knows
though.
what else is in his closet?
next week, whenever we discuss it, I will explain why I was so shocked there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Right.
because I thought you were in my head.
Excuse you?
I know. I thought that you knew something that I had thought about in my head, which I haven't shared.
I do.
So that's why I was like,
We're
"What?
just
We
so
literally are in
close.
sync."
The next thing that'll be happening is we'll be finishing each other's sentences, Lauren, to be honest.
Oh, that's
No.
close.
That was rubbish.
Because say it again.
No. With the moments passed.
Okay. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more musicals,
Please
why
don't
you
let
join us
this
next
be.
week?
Don't let this be our coup de grace, our death blow. Please come back
That's
next
not how we
week.
say it, sure doesn't.
I know, coup de gras, coup de gras, coup de gros.
I'm not even going to help you now.
Coup de
Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
coup de.
And while he tries to figure this out, I'll sign us off. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.